All right, welcome back to Judging Bouncing Balls, episode number 18. Toby, how we doing?
We're doing great. Wow, 18, big number.
Big number. Getting into almost
It's
number 20 here. Coming right up.
right. We're
Gonna be
halfway through the
good.
work week at 20. Well, some
The
days work week.
pre meeting we had the discussion of all the massive planning that we do for this episode, and we just decided to wing it like we always do.
Yeah, right. I got
Like no, I'm sure nobody could
pen and
tell.
paper. Right, I got scribbles on my pen and paper of free throw line. I don't know why.
Are you gonna start coaching soon?
Exciting. Yeah, right. Running the I don't even know basketball anymore.
I would like to see you on the sideline coaching some basketball. That'd be fun.
I love coaching. I wish I could do it more, but just no time.
Yeah. So you have had an excellent week. Lots of stories that I understand. Anything you want to fill us in on?
Well, first off, I got back to pickleball today.
Did you?
After a three week hiatus, I did explain to everybody that the real reason was I did get suspended. PEDs. After winning a couple championships, they drug test you at this pickleball gang, but I did go out drug free and I won another championship.
Wow.
Played well. Yeah.
Reasserted your dominance.
I was thinking about taking it on the road, maybe trying another gym, But then again, I don't know. It's best
maybe down to
stay put.
Down to a younger, more affluent area. See if you can take them.
Yeah, I know we go down to Appleton by some of the soccer dads down there play, but I think it's best I stay in my lane.
Yeah, probably. Which soccer dads play?
Joe and Jake.
Ooh, Jake seems like he'd be good.
I know. Joe. I think Joe went and bought shoes, like pickleball shoes.
Pickleball shoes?
Right.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I think they're regular tennis shoes they just put pickleball in the box.
Speaking of Joe, I don't think he works, by the way. I think he just goes on. I think he's a professional vacationer.
Oh, yeah. Well, he doesn't do anything in the winter. God, he's got it made, actually, now that you think about it. What a great
He really does. Kind of makes you sick. Happy belated birthday to Joe yesterday.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Hey, are you still drinking salt water?
Not tonight. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just water.
Muscles are fine?
Yeah, so far. Yeah.
I did not try that. I got to be honest. I didn't put salt in anything.
Well, to be honest, I don't put a lot in. You can't really taste it. It just almost makes it be it's like a little more. Somebody even said it tastes like bottled water. I can't remember who's. There's one company that adds a little bit of salt to their water. So, it's like it's high end or something. I don't know.
Right. Probably Evian.
I should put like Himalayan salt in there. It'd be really fancy.
Right. Salmon of Capistrano.
Exactly.
But no, getting back to the week, I got a letter in the mail a couple weeks ago that says I've been selected for jury duty, my civic duty. I took it seriously. I called in Sunday night to
Wow.
prevail, and I called in Monday night, and I'm in Group A, and they said Group A to report. So I got up, showered, had my cup of coffee, and I went to the courthouse. And I've always wanted to see how it works because I've never done it. They put you in a room with, I think there was 35 people. Like, it was way more people than I ever imagined. So then we go up to the courtroom and we sit not in the jury box, but we sit where the common folks sit that are watching the trial.
Okay.
And they have 20 chairs up front. So they start naming names, and I'm like, all right, let's not do this, right? Move on. They kind of said some B's, and then they went to C's, and then they were all over the board. I'm like, I think I'm good. Number 12. I got to number 12, and then my name was called. So I went and I sat in my chair. And then, so in my head, everybody's like, well, just say you think everybody's guilty, or, make up stuff to get out of this.
Do they ask you those questions?
They ask you really random questions. So they're like, the assistant DA, he's kind of a young, quirky guy. His pants were floods, and he was really trying to impress. But he did a nice job. But so they go through everybody in the DA office, and they're like, "Does anybody know anybody?" And then the defense attorneys, they go through everybody at his office, and I figured there's a chance I might know somebody, and I didn't, so I didn't say anything. But then they're like, "Does anybody else know anybody else in the out of the 20 people?" Jeremy, I gotta be honest. There's people in this world that should not be allowed jury duty. Like, they're like, there's this one lady that was like, "Oh my God, yes, the gentleman 3 down from me, we live next to him. He was our neighbor." And then the judge is like, "All right, when was this?" And she's like, 30 years ago. And you could see the judge like, "Oh, for God's sakes, like, is this going to hamper your ability to make a decision?" They're like, "No." And I'm
Yes.
like rolling my eyes. Yeah. So I'm trying to give my body language, like, I'm like, I don't want to be here. And I'm like angry, right? Because the defendant's in the room. He's sitting at the defense table. And I'm like, oh. So then they ask some dumb questions, and I don't have an answer. So I don't raise my hand. So then they give the list to the attorneys, and they pass it back and forth. And I'm like, oh, come on. There's a lot of older people on this that would be great for jury, right?
Right.
Time, they got effort. Call my name. 1 of 12. Juror number 10.
They got to have
It
you.
was amazing. Yeah. So I did my due diligence. They gave me a pad of paper. I didn't write down one thing. I'll be honest. I got through about 30% of the trial. I didn't even know what they were charging him with. Like, and it was a slam dunk case. He was guilty from the moment the DA opened his mouth. And they called it. So what happened was there was a guy that was on methamphetamine, passed out at the wheel, and ran into a semi.
Jeez.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, nobody got hurt. The first guy was the semi driver, and he said, "No, I saw the guy come across the center line. He was slouched over in his chair." Then the cop, then the lady that took blood with the warrant, and then the crime lab. Young lady from the crime lab came up from Madison. She was fabulous. I learned all about D-methamphetamines and L-meth. I really paid attention. And it was a slam dunk case. Like guarantee. So we go back, and they the defense doesn't call anybody. The young guy he didn't go on the stand, right? The defense barely did anything. He was just praying to God that the state did prove their case. So we go back in the jury room, and there's 12 of us sitting around the table. And all I can imagine is, you ever see the movie 12 Angry Men?
Yeah.
Great movie, right? And so one of the older women goes, let's just vote. And I'm like, this is going to be 12-0. Like, we're done. 10-2.
What?
Oh my God. And I felt bad, but when it was 10-2, I'm sitting at the end of the table. I go, "You gotta be beeping kidding me!" Like, I didn't mean to say it out loud. Oh, the guy on my left goes, "Right?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I shouldn't have said that." Like, oh man.
The two people are probably like, "What the heck?"
Right. And it was 2 women, and one of them talked all the time, and then the other one, I don't know. And then they started like trying to say that the semi driver he said his semi was full, and then he said it wasn't full. Like, is he lying? I'm like, the semi driver's not on trial. Like, what are we doing? And I said, the crime lab lady, I said, all we have to do is if the guy had meth in his system, he's guilty. The crime lab lady said she was 100% positive. He's guilty. And then after 4 minutes or 5 minutes, they're like, yeah, I think he's guilty.
They were that convinced. Like, easily convinced. Okay.
They wanted to like try to argue this out. I'm like, I just want to go home. Like, he's flat, so we had to go back, and then they read the verdict, and then the defense attorney said he wanted to everybody to go through and say they agreed with the decision. Juror 10, do you agree with the decision? I do.
So I got to ask a couple of questions here. What do you think he was just trying to get like a hung jury? I mean, it's if it was that clear cut, like what's his, why is he paying this dude who, by the way, doesn't sound like he did a very good job, the lawyer, defense lawyer. Sounds like
Well,
he's just cashing a
I don't.
check at this point.
Yeah, he's a public defender. Like he was doing his due diligence of public defending. So the judge came in after and talking to us in the jury room, and she's like, "So what do you think?" And you know, we were talking. She's like, "We couldn't tell you this, but this was his fifth or sixth offense."
Oh,
And I'm like, "Can we put him in jail? Because like if he doesn't hit the semi, and the semi was going slow at the time because it just turned a corner, he barrels through a four-way stop and kills somebody. Like it, yeah." And she's like, "Well, we're not allowed to tell you that." And I'm like, "Dude, the guy." And so I think he was going to, because when we read the verdict, two sheriffs came in. I think they were taking him to the big house,
well, at
and he
fifth or sixth
deserved it.
offense, he probably deserved it. Holy
Yeah.
buckets.
I'm not saying I know what a meth head looks like, but that guy over there looks like a meth head.
Not that you're able to add that into the case, but you're like, eh.
I can't take that into consideration what they look like.
Oh man. So he looked like he probably belonged somewhere on Breaking Bad.
He belongs at the house of many doors, as they say in the. Yeah, but it was interesting. I'm glad I was able to do it because I've always wanted to do it, but I'm also glad I didn't get like we got this big trial going on coming up. This business girl who cut somebody's head off, and
What?
I don't need that. Yeah, she was all fueled up on the drugs,
Jeez,
so I don't need to see pictures of some dude's head laying in a bucket.
that's crazy. Okay, well, yeah, I've only been called once, and I went to the trial. Like it went to trial. I showed up at the courthouse. I get there, and then they pled out. The defense pled out right when we were sitting there, and then I got to hear the judge chew out the defendant because they made us all come, and then they didn't use us. So then they chewed him out for pleading out so late in the process. But that was the only time I'd ever gone. My father-in-law just a few years ago did a murder trial. Like he actually had to do that was like a week long. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, only if they sequester me for like a hotel. Like if they put me at the Hyatt for like a week, room service, I am in. I won't talk to anybody. Like I
Sign,
keep quiet, a
sign
darkness
me up.
retreat.
Oh, bring a stack of movies along.
Right? I would just like. I'm not quite positive I can make my decision today. I'm going to need another night.
Jury 10 keeps dragging this thing out. Yeah.
But my concern was, so that was Tuesday. So then you call in Tuesday night for Wednesday, and I knew we weren't going to, like, there's very little chance, but I had to call in at 4:30 tonight for tomorrow. And it's the opening round of basketball. Like I take off Thursday for basketball,
Ooh.
and I'm like, oh man, and then I don't have to go.
All right. So speaking of which, let's transition to sports related. What? Who?
Yeah,
Who did you pick for the tournament? Who's winning your bracket?
I didn't do a bracket.
What?
I didn't. I haven't had time. Tomorrow I go in, so I go down to my buddy's bar, and I hand over some money, and then he hands me a ticket. It is not gambling, because gambling means I have a shot at winning. I don't have a shot at winning. But I think I don't. I'm not a fan of Alabama at one. I like Arizona. I think Purdue's got a shot just because of the big guy.
Yeah.
Because it's these mid majors can't get over that hump. I think KU's got a team. I'm always kind of rooting for KU because I got a buddy that went there.
Okay.
So yeah, what about? Did you fill one out?
I did fill one out. I will admit I don't know anything. I don't watch very much. I used to watch all the time. I used to love college basketball, and I just don't. I don't have the time. Don't watch that much anymore. I did take Purdue to go to be the national champion. I can't remember who I had. I think I had K State going quite a ways. I tried to do a little bit of research, see if I can pull it up here quick, but I didn't do a ton. I'll be honest. And like I said,
Yeah,
I'm kind of an
you're
idiot
probably
when it
better
comes.
off.
Yeah, it's not like I'm very good. But yeah, so I picked Purdue. I went with a 1 seed. What a gambler.
Right, right. I did. I want to follow up on last week when we had Rookie on that I
Oh,
did not get a team.
what?
I sent him text message after text message, and I
Unbelievable.
tried calling in. I didn't even get it to ring.
Wow.
Yeah, so
You
I was very, very not happy.
you know somebody and you still couldn't even get in. That's amazing.
Right. I'm friends with the guy running the thing. Like, just pull a
Jeez.
ticket and hand it. Like, be like, hey, Toby's a winner. Nothing. Make up a name. I don't care what you call me. So,
By
me
the
and my
way,
other buddy Dave were.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, me and my buddy Dave are on a text chain with Rookie, and it's just constant. I mean, we were just badgering him, how his contest sucks, and blah 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 blah. Then we're like, but just get us a number, team. We'll leave you. We'll love you.
I'm
He
starting to
doesn't
see
care,
maybe why you didn't get a team.
right?
He probably told the fan to
Oh,
block your
absolutely.
numbers.
Yeah. I absolutely know why he's not giving me a team because he likes to see me whine.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't try to get a team either. I wish all those people that got teams the best though.
Sort of. But I wanted the Final Four. It was a year's worth of Pep's Pizza and a pizza cooker. Could have used a pizza cooker from my basement.
That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, my final four
Instead of
was
buy one.
my final four was Texas, Gonzaga, and then Arizona, Purdue, and I had Purdue versus Gonzaga. That's what I have.
I'd like to see Gonzaga win it. I think they've been in the running so many times they just can't get over the hump.
They can't. Yeah. So I'd be okay with Gonzaga. Like I said, I'll be amazed if I get any of those final four right. So
Do you do it on Yahoo or send it in somewhere or just
I did it on Yahoo mainly just because it's easier that way. But I have a written out bracket with my whole family. Like everyone in my family does one too. And so we compare because I've got an 8-year-old, so he doesn't do anything online. So we always print out brackets because he likes to do them as well. It's always good getting beat by an
That's
8-year
fun.
old as well. So that's exciting.
Right. Who doesn't know much about any of it?
Right. The kid is like addicted though. He's down, he's not right now because he went to bed because it's too late. But he's up trying to watch every game, and I wouldn't be surprised if suddenly
Oh, that's awesome.
if suddenly on Thursday he is sick and needs to stay home.
Nothing wrong with that. You have him call me, and Uncle Toby will get him out of school.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, anyways, yeah, we'll see. I do like March Madness. It's a lot of fun. It is enjoyable when you can just sit and kind of watch. So I'll be lucky that we have spring break coming up here. So after Friday, so I'll have some time to watch maybe next week. It'll be good.
Yeah, I like Thursday, and then I like the Final Four in the championship. That's all I watch.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going for spring break. Our spring break's next week, and Macy's got soccer, and so me and Jackie are going to Marquette, Michigan, for a couple nights. Hello.
All right.
Yeah, well, it's work related.
That's all right. It's a deduction. It's a write off, as Seinfeld would say.
It's a write off.
It's a write
I
off.
am going to the Bucks game next Wednesday night. I'm not going to be able. We're going to have to switch tonight
Oh,
because I'm going to the Bucks game.
okay. We can figure that out. That works.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, soccer starts. Yeah, you guys have practice start on Monday. That's when we start.
So they were doing the Bayport tryouts. They were supposed to be next week, and then with spring break, they moved it 2 weeks ago. They moved it a week later. So they're going to do training camp for 3 days.
Okay. Yeah, we start.
Are you doing tryouts?
Yeah, so we do tryouts on Monday. And I'll be honest. I'm going to make fun of my own program a little bit here. I'm not sure why we call it tryouts because I'm pretty sure everybody's making. So, I mean,
Now, wait a second here. When you said we, do you have any updates on the coaching status
I
at
I
Spash High School?
I do have some updates. We have 4 coaches hired. One of them being yours truly. And so I will be helping out with the girls team this year, which is going to be fun. Looking forward to it. It's going to be quite the challenge, but it's going to be a fun one. So yes, we will be on the sidelines. So I'll have to definitely keep you more abreast of the the Fash soccer woes and triumphs.
Do you get east at all? Do you come over here at all?
I think we try to stay away from you guys as much as possible.
Yeah, well, I don't think we play you, but if you get in the area, I'll load up the truckster and head out, and I will razz you.
Just ride like a rented mule.
Just not the head coach, not the other two guys, just you.
I like it.
What are you doing?
Hey, that's a fair question. I'd probably look back and be like, oh. No, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. The good thing about our team is we do have some younger players that are coming up. I'm obviously my daughter's a freshman, but we also have some other young players that are some good ones. We've got a girl that plays at MCU club ball, and then there's another girl that played club for quite a while. So there's quite a few girls that are pretty young, and then there's some girls next year that are going to be coming up. So hopefully we can turn the tides back, get back to the Abby Gemza days of actually having a nice solid team. So that's the goal. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just heard Abby transferred to Utah State.
Really? From Lamar?
Yeah, third school. Yeah.
Did the little portal action. I wonder if she got some NIL deals.
Because she started at Texas Tech?
I think so.
Somewhere down there, and then she went to Lamar.
Okay.
And now she's at Utah State, so maybe the stakes are getting better.
Good for Abby. That's awesome. Hopefully she got a good deal on the NIL money. Maybe she's got a little sponsorship action.
That's what the portal's for. Making some bread.
Or a better situation. That too. That would be good.
Or just a better education. I mean, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We value the education.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But we missed last week. We had rookie on. We didn't even get to the semifinals of the Wisconsin girls basketball.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't even get to watch any of the games because I was chaperoning a trip to Washington D.C. I did not see Joe Biden. I was out there. I was looking at the White House. I saw some pictures. Took some pictures of the White House. Sarah, Amelia and I were on the front yard, or front lawn, right outside on the gate. Took a selfie. No Joe. So, what are you gonna do?
How was the trip overall?
It was actually really good. The kids were great. We had a couple little hiccups with non-kids, but overall, the guy that I was going with, that was the head chaperone, he said that it was the best one he's been on maybe ever. So the kids were good, well behaved. There's a little bit where they're talking while a presenter's going or something like that, but for the most part, really good. We got to see Gettysburg, saw the Philadelphia, where they signed the Constitution, the original capital in Philadelphia. Then we went down to D.C., and then down to Monticello, which is where Thomas Jefferson lived, and Mount Vernon, which is where George Washington lived. It's kind of crazy to be in those places and think, a couple hundred years ago, there was the actual person was walking through those places, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it was a good trip. A lot of historical stuff, which was a lot of fun. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, I didn't get to see any of the basketball. So I missed all these good things. So did you watch any of the games?
Yeah, we did pay attention for the semifinals. We kind of watched the Kimberly game.
Okay.
They ran into a buzzsaw, I'll be honest.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
It was rough.
That was yeah. But I think they had a good season to get there. So we'll be kind.
They were good.
To the paper makers.
They were good. I know you enjoyed it, but it was good.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Poor Greg, he's yelling at us right now.
We'll get a text tomorrow. They played hard. I'm like, well, not hard enough. I mean, it was in kind gesture.
Emily played well. The little portion I saw, I thought she played really well. I was proud of her. I was like, go Emily. So
no. As a freshman to get minutes in that kind of atmosphere
and she was guarding them. Is it Kiki or Keki or whatever? One of the best players.
Yeah,
that's who she was guarding. I'm like,
UConn recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of used her as Greg said, as a defensive specialist, and she did her job.
So you
got to be proud of her
for sure.
But I know our local team here, Notre Dame de la Bay, they went on with their third straight state championship.
They don't recruit though, right?
Maybe
No.
they end up with a lot of talent, right? They end up with a lot of talent every
Just
year, and it's impressive
just happenstance.
for a small Catholic school. Yeah,
Okay. Well, good for them.
but they got a little push on their semifinal game, but they ended up coming against McFarland. But then they kind of took it to Pewaukee by 15. So,
Oof.
and I think they're young. I think they've got a good run to go for 4. So,
Wow. They're restocking the
yeah,
shelves in foreign countries.
constantly. Yeah, they had a girl from Bulgaria, 6-footer, who dribble, pass, and shoot.
Just draining threes.
Her right, her birth certificate said she was a freshman, but she drove, if you know what I'm saying, to the game.
To the game. Well, good for them. I'm glad they won. That's great.
Yeah, but now the boys, they'll kick off this weekend down in Madison.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, our local team, De Pere, here is a powerhouse. They'll run into, I think, Pewaukee in the finals is how it should play out. But De Pere's good. De Pere's really good.
Yeah, I have not gotten to see De Pere play yet. I've heard that they are excellent, and that kind of a buzzsaw, like almost unbeatable. So we'll see if they can live up to the hype here.
Yeah, they beat Pewaukee once, but now you got to play. You have a good chance you play them again. So that's always tough to do.
Yeah, let's see. What does it say here? De Pere versus Kettle Moraine. Man, I'll tell you what, Kettle Moraine just won a state title for the girls. We didn't really go over that, but they ended up beating Hortonville, correct?
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about this prior to jumping on. I don't know how they were a 3 seed. They were a 3 seed, but they had one loss, and then they just kind of walked through and took the semifinal and then the final. It didn't seem like it was very difficult for them.
Yeah, they put up some big numbers too. 77 points in the semifinals. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, and against a team, I mean, Hortonville didn't look bad at all. I mean, they were a tough team, and they kind of took it to Hortonville.
Yeah, no, they got one of the best players in the state.
Yeah,
at least that's what I'm told. I don't, I followed it for the tournament, but
right.
I don't get to a game, so I can't even lie to you and tell you I know people.
Oh,
I don't know anybody.
Looks like you got Brillion is going to be in the possibly is in a semifinals. So that's a local team for you. I'm just looking to see if there's any other. Newman Catholic is the closest to me.
Milwaukee Academy of Science. Are they in there for the boys?
They are in there for the boys. We actually played them in football. Spash did, and beat them. But they are, I understand, a basketball school, and the girls were in the semifinals. So they
lost in the championship game.
That's what it was. Yeah, so their basketball program's doing really well.
But I heard it's kind of one of those question mark schools where all of a sudden it popped up, and it's kind of where you go to play basketball.
Honestly, when we played them in football, that was the first thing we noticed is that a lot of their kids seem like they play basketball, but then they also play other sports in the off seasons. That was just kind of the take that we had on it, and they were definitely a speed and finesse team on football. They weren't they had a couple big dudes, but they were more finesse and technique, but really, really athletic, really fast team when we played them. But they looked like a basketball school.
Did you ever play hoops? I call it hoops because I felt like I was part of the game.
I've played before. I wouldn't say I was really good at it. Remember, I took the old shoulder to the ribs. But in my younger days, so remember, my high school did not have athletics, but we did have we had a varsity basketball team that you had to try out for, and we had one game a year, and we played the alumni. was awesome.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
it was awesome. And I played like 5 minutes in that game, and but I will say this, I played 5 minutes in that game, but there were four pictures in the yearbook. Three of them had me in it. So I was like, yeah.
All that matters.
And you look at that, and you're like, that dude started and played a lot. What can I say? It was a win.
I love. We had, I think, my seventh grade year, we had like 6 boys in our class, so everybody had to play.
Okay.
And then so we joined with eighth grade, and we were small Catholic school, and I was averaging like 12.
Nice.
I shot a lot. I mean, let's not worry about the number of shots. Let's worry about the points. And then eighth grade year, we joined another Catholic school, and then I got to high school, and there was no chance. We had really good high school players, but I was an intramural guy. Loved intramurals.
Oh, intramurals is great. Good time.
Yeah. So then that was it. My size never correlated with the basketball program, and I think it was my speed and lack thereof that
Yeah.
I had handles though, man. I could dribble till I got pressured, and then I got nervous.
Speaking of intramurals, so Spash does this thing where like they do intramurals, and then there's an intramural champion. So the intramural champion then gets to play just a mix of Spash faculty members, which we just throw it together and kind of come out there and play them, which is a lot of fun. But I'll tell you what, and I remember doing this when I was their age. When you're young and you kind of play, you're like, you see a bunch of old guys and you're like, we are going to kill these guys. We're going to run up and down. And they are talking trash like all day. They're like, we're going to kill you guys. We're going to take it to you. We beat the ever-loving piss out of those kids. And it was like 60-26 or so. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, at one point it was like 25-0. I mean, we just took it to them. And you always forget when you're young, like how like having just some elderly game knowledge really, really helps. Like just being smart.
Right. And usually there's a couple staff. There's always staff members that played like D1 basketball that nobody knows about.
And we get our head football coach is actually really good. Ryan Eigenberger. He's probably in his low 30s, but just you can just tell he's just a good athlete and good player. Sees the floor really well. He's just cutting kids up out there. I mean, just passes to behind the back, and it was awesome. And those kids were just like, they didn't talk anything after that. It was pretty funny.
It was fun to throw the youth down a little bit.
Yeah, once in a while. But I didn't do much in that game, but I saw it. I got to watch other people have success, which was fun.
Did you get the yearbook picture?
I create the yearbook, and I don't even think I got in.
You're in charge of the yearbook too?
Yeah. I just submitted it at like 11:50 on 11:50 on Monday night, the 13th. Yeah.
Is there anything you don't do over there?
Well, there's a couple things, but yeah, the yearbook is the biggest stressor, man. That thing, it stresses you out. But anyways, it's a good time. And the worst part about the yearbook, I don't even tell people usually about this, but when you stop and think about it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. The first day of class, what I tell the kids is, this is the only class at SPASH where your homework is public and it lives forever. And it is.
So you mess up and it's
and it lives forever. And I show them, I'm like, listen, I've got a yearbook right here from 1940. Whoever did this back then, if they made a mistake, 60 years, 70 years later, we're looking at that mistake. So it's one of those things where your homework, if you screw off in another class, no big deal. You fail, right? You screw off here, it's like everybody knows it forever.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I didn't think about that. I was not on the committee, but I did. So we had, since you do pictures for clubs, like I joined the computer club and I joined, I don't know, I was in like 2 clubs, but in high school, it was one day was pictures, and they would be like, all right, now Key Club, come down to the gym. And I'd be like, I love pictures. So I went with Key Club. And then I went with SAD, Students Against Drunk Drivers. And then I went with the computer club. I was in like 7 pictures. It was amazing. They're like, how are you in so many clubs? I'm like, I don't know. I just went and did the pictures.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that story.
To the youth out there, enjoy it. Get in as many photos as you can. Nobody's going to question you. They're going to be like, were you really? And you can't retake the photo.
True. And actually now what we do is we do track like how many times you've been in the yearbook as we're making the yearbook. So we will actively, like I had one girl a couple of years ago that was in like 24 times. And I actually had to make an announcement like, we are not doing any more pictures of Abby. Like Abby's done. Abby's out. We're not doing any more of Abby. Because she was in like 3 sports. She was in like choir and band and she's like everything. Like, we're done with Abby. Abby's out. Like we need no more pictures of Abby. She's way overrepresented. We got to find some kid that's in there like once. Find that kid and take his picture.
Just like standing next to the bike rack and be like, Bike Rack Billy is over here.
Pretty much, yeah. So, anyways, enough about the yearbook.
Man, that's it. I did get Mace some new cleats.
What?
Yeah, I went back to our episode, and we talked about cleats and AR, AG, and oh my God.
What did you get? Because Amelia needs some.
The price go up. Oh, these were ridiculous. Here, I'll pull it up on my on the line.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that I'm going to need to, like hers are starting to really wear, and I'm like, I got to get her something before the season starts. But she's so dang picky. That's the problem.
These were way out of line. Like, I wasn't paying attention, and basically took my card. They were Nike Zoom Mercial Superfly 9.
Oh, it's so funny when I just typed in cleats, that was like the 4th one over.
Yeah, and then she did like made them her own.
Ooh, she customized.
I threw up when I saw the price.
Are they going to last?
They're not even here yet. They're going to be another 2 weeks.
Are they? You said it's a Nike, so that means there's probably some kid in China making them.
Well, he's really getting paid. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, I don't think he is. Phil Knight is. Phil Knight's doing great.
Right. Oh, he's doing great. But I did want that AG cleat because it's an artificial turf.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we did go. I did read a lot about that. We talked about on the podcast, people to go back. But it does not slip like a normal cleat. It's a rounder cleat. So it's actually designed. And then, with all the knee injuries we've been having, I kind of got a little nervous and spent the money.
Okay. I didn't pick up on that part, even though I was on the podcast. So the AG one, so that one doesn't actually, it's designed specifically for the turf.
It's artificial grass, yeah, and it's designed just for turf.
Interesting.
Because there's firm ground, there's FG, and then there's AG. There's very few AG cleats that I noticed, like, because it was a specialty shoe. But it is for artificial grass.
Interesting. So. Okay. Well, you have to let me know if she likes them.
Oh, she better like them. But they wear them so they're in them all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess as long as they last, if they give me a year, I'll be good. It's when they give you 6 months that I get a little.
Yeah, the last ones we got for Amelia probably started dying around 9 months, and then she's milked them to a year here, but because this is about when we bought them last year, so we're gonna have to change them out because they're cracking and breaking, and I've actually glued them twice already. So that's who I am. I like as soon as the foot started, the sole started coming off. I'm like, all right, shoe glue, put them together, clamped them together, like. Got them all. I've glued so many shoes because the soles fall off. It's ridiculous. I'm just that cheap.
I wish I could get away with that. My family just orders new, and it just drives me nuts. I think I got a thank you letter from Phil Knight last year. Like, thanks, Toby.
He showed you his new yacht.
Right. New basketball court at Oregon.
It says sponsored by Phil Knight and Toby underneath. Yeah, no, and they're good cleats too. I mean, the Nikes. I just wish that there was a little bit. I think you mentioned that on the podcast that there's actually one that's made like out of leather that the shoe is, because that's my biggest beef. Is it seems like that polyester or whatever the fabric on the top half of the shoe breaks down so dang quick, and that's what my big beef is.
Right. And I think in that, like on, I know Adidas has different levels. If you like, you think you're like, oh, these are blank, and then they're premier cleats. Well, that's one of the levels. And then there's elite, and then there's classic. So the higher the level in soccer, the more expensive the shoe for that style. But it's worth it because they do different leathers and everything on the side.
Okay,
So as they get better and play more, it's kind of, we always tried to get better shoes, and my mom would be like, "No, wear what you got.
right.
You're not good
Yeah,
enough."
she's. Oh yeah, Matt. If I told my mom I needed new cleats when I was a kid, she would have went to. She would have like, okay, let's go get some garage sales, and that's where we'd have gone. Like there would have been no, dude, no new. There was no new clothes. It was not happening.
I I remember when I was in eighth grade for basketball, I got Jordan ones, I think. And back then they were like $100. And she is like, if you tell your father, I swear to God, we're all dead. I'm like, don't worry about me. I should have kept them in a box. Things would have been worth
Probably
mint.
it would have been
But I wore them every day. I wore them every day in the mud. It didn't bother me.
good for you. Get your use out of them.
Yeah. But that was it. And then, yeah, that was the most expensive shoe I ever got. So I was out of line. And now that's an average pair, right? $130. You're like, what the?
So is Mace excited to get going? Or is she nervous?
I think so. She's
Yeah.
nervous. I'd like to get the trials going for her and see where she end up because Bayport Varsity tries out on the 27th,
Okay.
28th. I think they post the team on the 29th, Wednesday. And then that Friday, they get on a bus for a tournament
Oh
lacrosse.
wow. So you're going across the state.
Right. There'll be one practice as a varsity squad. So, if she's fortunate to make it, she'll be on a bus for lacrosse on Friday.
Wow.
We'll tag behind, and it's a school trip. So it's kind of neat because they'll bus together, they
Yep.
room together,
Yeah. So
and then we'll
that's
each get
actually
a room.
similar to what we're going to be doing too, because we have our first scrimmage is on the 28th. We have the tryouts and practice the week of spring break, and then on the 31st we're down to Urbana, Illinois. Of course, we got to go to Illinois, everyone's favorite, and then from there, then we play two games and then a possible third, depending on how we do. But yeah, we literally are going to only have because of spring break. We've got 11 girls not at practice, so really we don't actually get to play together until the week of. We don't even, and they want to know like names of the people from our varsity team. Like we have no idea. We're not going to know till literally when we get on the bus and head down. I mean, so
Wow.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Dude, there was and I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but there was a great TikTok where this guy was like, so disappointed. I got to tell my son he tried out, he worked hard, and he just didn't
I
make
saw
the
that one.
team. And then they show he's sitting next to his kid, and he's like, Dad, you're the coach, and he's like, yeah, I know. Sorry, son.
Oh, I would be ruthless. I actually feel bad for Amelia. The times that I coach, I am not nice to my own kids. I just am not. I don't know. So I kind of feel bad for her. I shouldn't say I'm not nice. I try to be as, supportive as possible, but I also try to be as blunt as possible too.
Well, you kind of have to, right? Because everybody's like, oh, you're
Yeah.
babying your kid, or you took the coaching job. I have a friend who his company is fortunate enough, and they donate money
Yeah.
to schools, like for programs, and they donate the money where his kids go to school. And he had informed me, like, he's like, listen, I'm not doing this for anything but the fact that, the soccer team needs some stuff. He gives to other
Right.
sports too. And somebody found out, oh, you're giving money to get your kid. He's like, just stop.
Yeah.
He's so dumb.
That's too bad. It's funny because that stuff always
Yeah.
comes in, and that's where I think I'm going to actually be more involved with the JV team. I mean, we're going to be together at some point, but so I may end up being her coach, and I may not. It just depends on how everything shakes out. But honestly, I'm the only person from Spash on the coaching staff, so that for me was when I saw how everything was shaken out. That's kind of where my biggest interest is. Like, there needs to be, in my opinion, somebody from the building on almost any high school team. I don't care what it is, and it's always unfortunate when you don't have anyone in the building on a team. So that's one of the things that's like I think has been a focus for Spash is to try to make sure we don't just have that we don't have zero faculty members. You want to have somebody from the school because then if they have an issue, if there's something that comes up, you can address it a lot faster being in the building. It's always tough when you don't have anyone from the building, and I can't think of any sports right now where we don't have at least one staff member on from the building on a team. I don't think maybe wrestling. I think so. But anyways, that's the ideal. Is you'd like to
Yeah.
have somebody, so it got to be me. Yeah, it'll
That'll
be a
be
good
fun.
time.
Kind of jealous. I think my knowledge of sports would really benefit some soccer
I
team.
think so.
I don't know where or what soccer team, but I mean, our ability to understand offsides.
Top notch.
It's gonna go back to the story when you're gonna coach and they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't think you know what you're talking about. We're gonna do it this way. Be like, all right, let's go get them. We're gonna run Sarah's way.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'll keep you posted.
Do you have
Oh my
snow?
God,
Yeah,
ridiculous
snow.
amounts. It just keeps
It's
coming. It's supposed to
unbelievable.
come again tonight and tomorrow. I'm like, for the love of God, I'm in a club where we're not supposed to shovel after March 1st, and it's getting pretty difficult.
How do I get in this club? Is
Oh,
this
go to
member
Facebook. It's
only?
called the No Shovel Club, and it is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good time. It was started by Dave Hauser, and it's got 700 members. And the only condition, the only rule is that after March 1st, you can't shovel anymore. You got to just let it. You just got to drive on it.
What did you get? Was it Monday? Monday morning. I think
Yeah,
we had
we
10
had
inches.
we between the two storms that came through, there was like one I think on the weekend, and then there was one after that. It was like almost 20 inches.
Well, how did you get out of your
I
driveway?
stared. I don't know. I got back, and it sure looked like she just drove on it. So it's good, whatever. There's just ruts, and you literally there's a path just big enough to get out of the driveway. It's like just snow everywhere else. Pretty awesome.
I actually got up early Monday and snowblowed, like before anybody drove on it for the first time and that
Wow.
I can remember. Usually we drive on it for the day, and then I get all grumpy and say, and all my neighbors are beautifully clean, and then I just got
Yep.
snow ruts, and I give up. But it was 42 today. We lost a
Yeah, we
lot of
lost a
snow.
lot today too. But now it's supposed to get cold again over the weekend, so that sucks. So, oh well.
Yeah, spring sports are bad, but we've been
So,
doing it
anyways, if you
for.
want to get in a no shovel club, all you got to do is just stop shoveling and just start driving on it and just piss your neighbors off. Now, obviously, clear your sidewalks if you live in the city. You got to do your due diligence.
I don't have
Okay,
a
that's good. Then
sidewalk.
just drive on it, piss your neighbors off. They'll look at you, be like, "What is wrong with Toby? Why isn't he shoveling?" Be like, "Middle finger. I don't care. Driving on it. Not doing this anymore."
I like it.
So,
I
fun
like
story
it.
on that. The Dave Hauser just got two NBA players into the No Shovel Club, and I kind of said he got his son obviously, and then he got his one of their teammates. Oh, actually, three. There was his son and two other teammates. And I said, but I don't know if they actually have driveways to shovel. And they're like, it's probably a good point. And they're in Boston, so it's like I don't know if they really have snow.
But it still gives street cred
Street
to the
cred,
club,
baby.
right?
Yeah, you got NBA players wearing the shirt around. That's the No Shovel Club. Good deal. You should check out the site. It's
And
actually pretty funny
speaking
on
no
Facebook.
shovel club, I will take a look, but I want you to know that I bowled, me and my wife bowled in an event for the Lions Club
Nice.
last Saturday. Not very good at bowling. It was a 9-pin tournament. All you had to do was knock 9 out of 10 down. Couldn't even do that. But I got 4 people to subscribe on YouTube. So that was a success. It cost me 4 beers, but I did it. We got to 50. Now we got to get to 51 in case
we're not losing anybody. Who would leave this?
Right. So whoever is listening, just do us a favor. And Ireland jumped up to 5%. We lost some Germans down to 2%. Yeah. Well, we were talking about Ireland all the time. We didn't. Germany.
That's true. I'm just going to check this out here while we're live. But yeah, you are correct. We did get to 50, which is amazing. Now we can do live streams from our mobile. So what that actually means is, if you or I are individually going somewhere, we could potentially live stream it. I actually thought about this. You could like live stream a kids game or something and just put a sign out like, hey, if you want to follow, jump on. You get to, because I actually had somebody ask me that when I live stream my daughter's games, just for us. Like I'll only share it privately on Facebook or whatever, because it's, it's just 5th grade. It's not any big deal. But they were like, hey, how do I get on that? It's like, well, I don't make it public. So I'm like, well, you can't really. But if I was live streaming on this, I could just say, hey, scan this little QR code. You're in. We could pick up some people that way.
So we'll do
yes,
regionals
for sure.
And some when we get club soccer on Facebook.
And then what we'll do is we'll share that on the Facebook page, and then we can stream it through YouTube, which is awesome. So better subscribe. There's going to be content coming to the live stream. It's going to be good.
Yeah, man, I didn't know, but I did. We made it happen. So thank you to the people of Seymour. Kelly Holman was a big successful at this. She took it by the horns and she ran around and grabbed people's phones. I watched her. I don't know if that's legal, but I did accept it.
It works.
Appreciate it.
I like it. Hey, good job. That's huge. That's good stuff. Got to get those subscribers. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the audience, Ireland's at 5%. It's crazy how fast it's growing. So it's,
because we're over 1,000 between the two.
Yeah, picking up viewers.
We gotta set this up. We gotta start to get some money. We gotta start to get some coin.
Hey, what do they say? Build it, they will come, right? If you build it.
So I'm saving the good stories for when we're gonna get paid.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And some have to do with sports. Some don't.
I think we've proven on this episode that we don't have to always talk about sports.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We got some guests coming up, right?
Yeah, it's still on the docket. I need to just confirm that again, but it was set up for the first week in April. Got a big guest that said that she would come on, which is awesome. Should we drop a name here?
Big guest. I don't think once she confirms again.
So big surprise. So this is a big one. Like this could be a big guest for us. It's obviously rookie, homage to him, but he was a big guest. But this one carries a lot of clout that a lot of people would be interested to hear from. A lot of people.
So we got to figure out what kind of questions we're going to ask.
Are you saying we're going to have to do research?
What can we ask? No, that's not how we do things. I'm just saying, I don't want to come off like I'm an investigative journalist, even though I won't, because I don't. I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, great. Thanks for answering my question. Now I'm done.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions that we would want to ask. And I think stuff that, I think she would be ready for about a lot of youth sports. So, but yeah, it would be a very big guest. That is for sure. So.
And we are looking for guests too. We had the 2 guys out by you from Amherst. Baseball coach, and they ended up being great. It was Amherst, right?
Not Athelstane. It was Amherst.
And they were great. It was fun to talk to. So if there's somebody out there anywhere in the world, if you're from Ireland, we can dial this in. I speak Irish, especially Friday, right? We're all Irish on
It's
Friday.
true. Yeah. With St. Patty's Day coming up. I mean, how could we not be a fan of the Irish with St. Patty's Day? I heard something because I actually, when I was in Peru, there was two people from Irish, and they were there, and I asked them about St. Patty's Day, and they're like, they had no idea what I was talking about. They thought it was kind of amazing that that as Americans that we celebrated St. Patrick's Day, but maybe it was just them. I don't know. But they were like confused about the whole thing. So I don't think they celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. At least they didn't.
Because they get it it's
Probably
every
true.
day. Every day in Ireland
That's
is
probably
St.
true.
Patty's Day.
Good point.
You know what's crazy about Dublin is when you step off the street, you look
Oh,
right.
that's true.
That was weird.
I would
I
probably
almost
do.
died because I look left and then I step and then the car went by and I'm like, holy buckets, that was bad. Could have died.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but I thought about Rookie last week, the $1,000 thing. I, People seem to really enjoy that part about the Rookie thing. The $1,000. He just kept coming back to 1,000. I thought that was awesome. So
Well, like you said, I would gladly pay that.
yeah, no kidding. I texted you this week. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, it'd be nice. Uh, yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. So
And you got a stern letter too.
I didn't listen. I did not see any. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of emails that come from the club, but they're like, you need to pay this raffle fee now, and I'm like, I didn't even. It looked like a scam to me the way it was sent out. And it was like some weird address, and then at the bottom it says Eric Gebhardt, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. That's why I texted you. I'm like, is this legit? This seems like I'm going to log in. The next thing you know, my whole computer's taken over and I'm like being held ransom to get my computer back.
Well, you're not, and you don't go to indoor
Right.
because you had other things going with hockey. So, and they gave away all the calendars at indoor. So we just met on that too. The people that haven't paid, and I'm like, if I'd have known it was you, I'd have taken it easy and been like, well, maybe he didn't mean it.
What did they say? Did,
Charge him double.
did they disparage my name?
No, you were one of many. They've done a nice job, but the high school girls are the hardest, right? Because they do the calendars in winter, and then we don't see the high school girls till summer.
Anyways.
You're one of two.
Yeah, I was probably. So anyways, I'll pay that $95 because the letter I got was very clear that it needs to happen ASAP. ASAP.
Well, they're talking about pulling players' cards.
Really?
So imagine going down to St. Louis and your daughter's looking at you like,
oh boy,
bitch, Dad.
Oh my God, Amelia would probably kick me, or she'd probably Rochambeau me.
Yeah. Yeah. Our daughters are the
It
same.
would not be good.
Be dead.
Yeah. I'll get it paid. I haven't yet, but I will do it this weekend probably. Otherwise, Eric will send me another sternly worded email. Eric, if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for Danny.
Let's see. What else? What else should we talk about? Good riddance to Aaron Rodgers. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
So let me ask you this, because now he came out and he said he would like to play for the Jets, right? Or he went into his darkness retreat like
that's what he says.
Retired. Like, just come on.
He's full of it. I agree.
Full of BS. But I'm trying to figure out who's got the leverage now. Is it the Jets or the Packers? Because now my thought is he wants to play for the Jets. So all the Jets fans are up in arms. They're excited. So now if they don't deliver,
correct,
they're going to be disappointed. But then again, the Jets are the only team that are actively pursuing him. So why would he overpay for this? And he's still a good quarterback. I mean,
for sure.
Don't get me wrong. but it's the time for the Packers to move on. Like, we're not going to the Super Bowl with them next year. Let's just start over. We take the money, we'll take the cap hit, and then we can start to build
Yeah.
new.
I mean, here's the way I look at it. He's already on the roster and they're already paying for him. And when they trade him, they're going to take a $40 million cap hit. So from their perspective, they can just let him ride. I mean, it's not going to hurt him any worse to have him sitting there doing nothing. So they can tell the Jets, hey, if you don't give us what we want, pound sand, we'll just hold him here and start Love. Now, would they really do that? No, because it's going to be such a distraction. And the other side of it is if they had to wait until June 1st, he's a designated June 1st at that point. So then you could delay the penalty, the cap hit penalty. So you could theoretically drag it out if you really needed to. But will they do that? I don't think so. I mean, I think they're going to want to get this thing done in the next week.
Is that the June 1st? I heard June 1st things change. So is that the cap?
Correct. Yeah, you get to offset it a little bit. Yeah. I agree.
Bite the bullet, take the hit this year. Is it a 1-year cap?
Well, you could split it. So you'd get to do half and half, as I understand it. So you do a little bit now and then a little bit then. So then it just makes it a little bit. So, but I'd rather just do it all this year and be done with it. Get it over with.
Call it a year. You know, we already raised ticket prices, so
hey, they made you pay that before this news came out. They're like, hey, Aaron, if you could hold off on this news, give people some hope that maybe you're coming back, then we're going to sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Then we trade you.
100%.
Yep.
Just
Toby's check cashed. All right, let's trade him. Let's go. I don't know, man. I'm so disappointed we didn't trade him last year. We wouldn't have had the big hit. We didn't have a great year anyway. We didn't make the playoffs. It's like, could have just traded him last year, got 3 first-rounders from the Broncos and been done with it. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, now you look back at it, and it was a no-win situation. He's held us hostage for years. He's played great. But when
that was the time to go. Yep,
we weren't
agreed.
going anywhere. Yeah, should have cut time. And actually, that was the Thursday of the opening round of basketball.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, anyways, sayonara, Aaron.
Yeah. ERIN.
Now it gets ugly. This is where the claws come out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the greatest shirt was "We're gonna miss."
I have that shirt. It says "We'll never forget you, Brent." It's a great shirt. The other shirt that I had after Brett left, my favorite shirt ever, and I lost it. I don't know how I lost it. I cannot find it anywhere. It was the throwing pics and texting chicks, and it was a picture of his face. Dude, that was the greatest shirt ever. Oh, so disappointed I lost that one.
That would be amazing.
So I'm gonna have to get a good Aaron one here. I'm gonna have to try to come up with something and buy one because I got to remember Aaron.
I think we should get an Etsy account, and then we can make up things.
There you go. It's not a bad idea. I have to think that something with Aaron needs to be like either about his ayahuasca or his darkness or the fact that his family absolutely disdains him. Doesn't want to talk to him.
Yeah. Or the weird girlfriends. Blue.
Woodley or whatever, too. Like, that was an odd one. Yeah. Whatever. His life. Good for him.
Yeah, it's his life.
That's right.
I just get to judge. So,
anyways, anything else we need to talk about here? We've covered a lot of stuff. You're getting tired. You got to get to bed. You got to get your beauty sleep.
Yeah. Oh, man. Whew. Pickleball, jury duty this week.
You put a guy in prison.
Dead. Guilty as
That's
charged.
Awesome.
But here's my thing. So I was sitting in the jury box, right? And I'd sit there and I'd look and I'd kind of look at the defense table. And a couple of times he was staring at me. At least I thought he was. And I'm like, whoop.
Yeah, that.
Oh my God.
He probably had that dead look in his eyes. He's just staring into nothing. Coming down off the high.
Yeah, right. His brain was so messed up with the meth, he had no idea. But I think I caught him looking at me one time. He weighed like 85 pounds. I mean, I'd push him down, right? It would have been no big deal, but.
Stay safe out there. Maybe that's going to be the podcast name then. I put a guy in prison or something.
There we go. I think
Yeah,
that
maybe we'll
gets
do
attention.
that. All right.
Yeah. Juror number 10.
Awesome. Anything else we should cover here?
That's it. Got a big, like I said, we'll be in touch more next week.
Yeah.
Trips and the Bucks. Maybe
Okay.
Tuesday night I'll be in town. We do Tuesday night. Or
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Thursday night.
Looking forward to it. We'll get her done. We can talk a little bit about the tourney and then how things are going. Yeah, with soccer. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, Toby.
And well, great. Well, you have a great weekend. And
yeah, it was good. Have a good night, man.
All right, bye.